Hello, Donna D'Angelo from the Institute of Christ Consciousness. Thank you for joining me on installment 4 of The Correcting Time. What is occurring on our world through the circuits of consciousness is something that is very large, and it can be very challenging to describe it in full because the transformation that is now underway is something that will change all of our social and cultural institutions over time. One of the things that many people experience is a sense of instability, emotional instability, or insecurity. And this is because there is spiritual energy coming into what we know as the heart center, where we hold our emotions. And so many people struggle with feelings of insecurity that come from this sense of unworthiness. And when spiritual energy is applied into the heart, it starts to shed some light of truth into a person's experiences and what has happened to them in the past. This can create great feelings of frustration, anger, and anxiety. And it is something that we're witnessing all around the planet as more and more people feel this spiritual pressure, but they may not know how to respond to it. What I'd like to talk to you about today is the spiritual quality of forgiveness. Now, I have mentioned forgiveness in some of my other video series, but I want to talk about forgiveness in the context of the correcting time. What occurred on this planet so many millennia ago was a miscarriage of the divine plan. And forgiveness is an attitude that we can take toward this miscarriage of the divine plan, to forgive what happened here and to begin to open the pathway, if you will, of our hearts to receive this wonderful energy of forgiveness that comes from our divine source. What forgiveness does, it actually destroys the emotional charge of insecurity and frustration and anger. When forgiveness is truly received in the human heart, it begins to shape or reshape the way in which a person has experienced a situation in life. It adds more perspective, and to help you let go of the anger and the anxiety and frustration that you may have felt against a person or circumstance, or even yourself. Forgiveness is the liberation of the human heart from the pain of the past. Now, when a person starts to open this door to forgiveness, sometimes you're really not sure what you're even forgiving. But a lot of times people need just to forgive themselves for being human. There are certain belief systems on the planet that have taken us away from our innate worthfulness or value to God and the divine plan. There are certain traditions that speak about humans as being unworthy or not deserving of God's love, and this is very, very untrue. So one of the best things to do is to just open the door to forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for being human. Forgive yourself for making mistakes. And opening that door through forgiveness so your indwelling spirit can shine light on anything in your past that has hurt you in any way. One of the best ways in which we will grow spiritually as a planetary culture is through this forgiveness energy. And if more people were to practice forgiveness on a day-to-day basis, forgiving others, forgiving themselves, forgiving what has happened on this planet, then there would be such an influx of spiritual energy to liberate the heart and fill people with more peace. And peace is the underlying foundation of emotional stability. When we are operating in a peaceful attitude, there's no more room for anger or frustration, because peace is a stabilizing emotional energy. And this is one of the new, well, I won't say it's actually new, it's always been there, but one of the expansions of spiritual energy that we need to foster our opening and participation in the correcting time, so that we can perceive our inner divine voice that is giving us information about how to live our best lives. Forgiveness is the cornerstone. And when you open the door to forgiveness, what you are doing is you are liberating yourself from the emotional anchors, if you will, of pain and suffering, separation from God. This all gets wiped away clean. Now, I'm not going to suggest that this is all going to happen in one fell swoop, because sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. It just depends on where you are as an individual. But your spirit knows you inside and out, intimately, even better than you know yourself. Your spirit knows your blind spots and is willing to shed light onto those areas where you need this loving touch of forgiveness. So during this phase of correcting time, when we are seeing so many problems on the planet, in the political arena, in the scientific community, in the health field, every social and cultural institution is undergoing change. And there are people who are still operating in these social institutions in a way that is not in alignment with the divine plan. But I encourage you to forgive them, because they need to begin to perceive what they are doing and to forgive themselves. So I know this is a very big a concept to approach, but I encourage you to take this into your spirit and ask, are there any areas in your life where you have not forgiven the past? Forgiven yourself? Are you holding grudges against anyone? Forgive them. Because in forgiving them, you will come to understand why people do the things they do. And it is through this greater lens that perception changes and gives you greater spiritual information in which to see the situation in a new light. So I would like to just sit with you now and just hold that space for you to receive some forgiveness. And just focus in your heart and ask for this wonderful quality of spirit to come into that place where you may be holding any anger or frustration or resentment. And just feel what that word and that spiritual attribute is here to do to help you move forward from any place that you may be stuck in your own life. Just sit now and breathe. And focus on the word forgiveness right over your heart center. And I'll hold that space for you with you. Breathe in forgiveness and breathe out all that no longer serves your highest good, your spiritual potential, your creative power. Let go of all that no longer serves you, as forgiveness is received and begins to permeate you through and through. Thank you. Forgiveness is one of the most powerful spiritual energies because it opens the door to receiving divine love, that you may share that with others and begin to see the perspective that your spirit wants to convey to you. During this phase of the correcting time, practice forgiveness on a daily basis. You will be very, very well served by what this is trying to convey to your heart and mind. I hope this has been helpful, and I look forward to sharing more information with you about the correcting time as we move forward as a planet to bring the ways of love and peace and compassion and understanding to this world. We are all in this together, and together we build this world to evolve a heavenly planetary culture. Thank you for being with me, and I look forward to being with you again very soon. Goodbye for now.